There is only one place for us to start, though, and that is with the big breaking news from this morning. At Manchester United, there is change once again at the football club, and Ruben Amorim's time is over.
Ruben Amorim has been sacked as head coach at Manchester United.
What was the point of Ruben Amorim? You've had 14 months of him saying rather absurd things and then seemingly get himself together, and then boom, he turns it upside down.
When it's becoming so public as it was, you thought that it was on borrowed time.
Don't know what the answer is. Even before Amorim came in, I didn't know what the answer was. There's too many chefs trying to stir the broth at Manchester United.
It was too big for him. He wasn't good enough. When you look back at Sir Jim Ratcliffe backing him, and less than a year after that statement gets rid of him, now we're in a position where Ratcliffe has to make the right appointment.
Didn't seem like the right fit from the start. It seemed like he was gagging to get fired, and he's been fired.
Could it be because he had suspicions, maybe that talks have already taken place with a potential replacement, and maybe that potential replacement could be Enzo Maresca?
Yeah, so after 14 months in charge, it is all over for Ruben Amorim at Manchester United. Let's just bring you the statement that the club put out earlier on today. Ruben Amorim has departed his role as head coach of Manchester United. Ruben was appointed in November 2024 and led the team to a UEFA Europa League final in Bilbao in May. With Manchester United sitting 6th in the Premier League, the club's leadership has reluctantly made the decision that it is the right time to make a change. This will give the team the best opportunity of the highest possible Premier League finish. The club would like to thank Ruben for his contribution to the club and wish him well for the future. And they went on to say that Darren Fletcher will take charge of the team against Burnley on Wednesday. Before we get the thoughts of Darren and Danny on this one, let's just remind ourselves what Ruben Amorim had to say after the 1-1 draw with Leeds yesterday.
I noticed that you receive selective information about everything. I came here to be the manager of Manchester United, not to be the coach of Manchester United. And that is clear. I know that my name is not Tuchel, it's not Conte, it's not Mourinho, but I'm the manager of Manchester United. If people cannot handle the Gary Nevilles and the criticisms of everything, we need to change the club. And it's going to be like this. I'm not going to quit. I will do my job. I just want to say that I'm going to be the manager of this team, not just the coach. And I was really clear on that. And that is going to finish in 18 months. And every department, the scouting department, the sport director needs to do their job. I will do mine for 18 months and then we move on.
Okay, so that's what he had to say after that 1-1 draw at Ellen Road, where he had clearly suggested that he wanted to be more than just a head coach, wanted to have more power, more responsibility with the team, but that has now come to an end now that he has departed the club. Let's just first of all get your thoughts on the news. Danny, what do you make of it?
Well, I think after hearing him speak the other day and say what he said, I felt it was going to be inevitable. You could tell in what he was saying that he's gone. Like when I say gone, I mean in his own head. He's saying stuff that there's no return from, really. He's done well staying in the job as long as he has, let's be honest, because results have been really poor. He's had the odd good moment or two, but generally it's been a disaster. And his stubbornness, especially on the pitch with the formation stuff, has certainly not helped him. This has been triggered by a conversation, hasn't it, obviously, where whoever he's spoken to, whether it be about formation, whether it be about who's coming in and who's not in the window, where he's felt undermined and probably feels that the message he was given when he was given the job is different than the message he's getting now. And that could be true. And that could be true because a lot of the hierarchy who are above him in more senior roles now have come into those roles since he's been in the job. So the goalposts might have changed. And if that's the case, I do understand his frustration, because if you're told one thing and then something else is happening, you know, you're kind of doing the job with one hand behind your back. But generally, he's been well backed. He's been given time, he's been given players, and he's failed. So I don't really have any sympathy. He'll get a huge payoff. He'll get another job somewhere after what he did on his first job at Lisbon. So I suppose the negative is more, I think, for those other clubs around the top four, like Liverpool, like Chelsea, because they'll get better.
Okay.
They can't not get better because the players don't look content in what they're trying to do half the time when you watch them with the formations. go back to your 4-3-3 or even a 4-4-1-1 if you like, whichever way you want to look at it. And depending when you've got the ball, you can be a bit more fluid. But 4-3-3, the players are comfortable with it. Then you'll have the front three when Brumo's back with Cunha and Sesko, and then you'll have Bruno being protected by two holding midfielders so he can go and do what he does best and win games of football. And then you find your best back four, and United will be much better for it.
So just quickly, and I'll come to you, Darren, in just a moment. You're suggesting that the squad is there. There is a team good enough.
The squad is there to be better than they are.
Yeah.
It still doesn't guarantee them top four, but it gives them a hell of a better chance.
I mean, they're only 3 points off Liverpool as things stand.
Absolutely. It's a weird Premier League season.
It is, yeah.
Because if you look at Liverpool, you mentioned them, they've been on a run of form, which has been their worst. Well, but recently they've been better. But before that, worst run of form since 1953, and they're in the top four. Now, Manchester United are very fortunate in that they've sacked Amorim at a point where they can revert to a back four. They can revert to tactics that have been more successful. Ruud van Nistelrooy was able to string a few wins together before Amorim took over. And I think they'll go back to the ethics that have served them well in the past, or relatively well in the past. But I think it's more than Amorim. Listen, I've been on this show before and I've talked about the fact that he was breaking all the wrong records and that formation would never be successful at Manchester United. They've got a storied history with four at the back and a very orthodox way of playing. But you do have to look upstairs as well. You do have to look at the fact that they sacked a sporting director who said, listen, this way of playing is going to be expensive to build. It wouldn't work. They sacked him in favour of Amorim, and then they didn't really want to back him. The word is that they were openly canvassing for a successor. They kept Ten Hag for too long, and then they sacked him, and then they brought him in, even though he had said to them, listen, I don't want to come mid-season. I want to come at the end of this season. They said, no, you've got to come now. You don't come at all. The thinking is very muddled upstairs, and it's easy to see why so many fans are as upset with Ineos as they are happy with the departure.
Well, this is it, because when obviously Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos came in, we were thinking this is about stability, it's about rebuild. Yet it feels they're just as dysfunctional as they were before.
They're a bit more stable above now. Well, it's happened during his tenure.
See, yes and no. I mean, they are a bit more stable now, but the decision making has been so disjointed that it has left them in a kind of weird place. The feeling is that there had been a conversation on Friday, just gone, I think it was, about the style of play. Now, you can argue all you want about the fact that sporting directors and people upstairs shouldn't be having an input in style of play, but when you take over at a club, the modern model, Danny knows as much as I do, the modern model is not manager with all of the power that, say, Unai Emery has at Aston Villa. That's become more and more rare in the Premier League. The modern model is that you come in and it is, decision making by committee. It is working with the
I don't think so much on
medical staff, etc. Like at Chelsea,
there was
a lot of collaboration.
Yeah, but the formation thing, I don't think that Jason Wilcox or anybody else has been dictating to him what formations are.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't.
But I do think that. So there have been people who have said to him, "Listen, you want to run a form, 2 wins in your last 11 games.
Yeah, why are you sticking to it?
Exactly,
asking for answers,
exactly,
which is their job, and that's a different conversation. I also think probably there's got to be some truth in the recruitment conversation frustrating him, especially if he was told something else. The reality is all that doesn't matter now. It's more about who comes in. Is it an interim?
Yeah.
Then reassess in the summer. And do United, with their current squad, have enough in that squad to get themselves in the top 4?
I am with you. I have to say, I know you've got to move on. I'll be very brief. I think there is enough in that squad now, given how average the league is behind the top 2-3, for them to finish in the top 4. They've got a real opportunity that they probably, on the basis of their form, they shouldn't have. It might be top 5, yeah.
And that's the key, because if it's top 5, but really you've got Liverpool, Chelsea, and Liverpool, Chelsea, Man U probably fighting that out.
And there are some good managers out there. If they make the right decision, they can get one of those places. If they mess this up now, it's on them.